China expected to unveil a significant stimulus package next week. The announcement expected to come during its National People's Congress Standing Committee meeting, it's the official name, which kicks off on Monday. Let's talk about all of it and why we care and make sense of it. Dewardric McNeal, Longview Global's managing director, a CNBC contributor, an expert on China strategy. Dewardric, I can't say how many times I've said the words China and stimulus in the same sentence over the last 15 to 20 years. It hasn't seemed to matter long term. Will anything matter this time for an economy that is so dependent on real estate and rates?
It's a good question, Brian. Good to see you. Listen, I think what we know is that there will be some significant announcement next week, probably November the 8th, at the end of the National People's Congress Standing Committee meeting. And I sort of look at this, Brian, sort of three ways: scope, scale, and timing. On the scope here, I think to your point, what we're expecting out of this package is something to address local government debt, which we know is high, and some support for the property sector. That's the scope, largely what we've been saying. What I haven't heard a lot about is something to help the consumer. So that is a concern of mine. With respect to scale, I think is where we may see a difference, Brian, because there's been talk of 10 trillion RMB sort of hitting the street at some point. But the final question, the timing, there's discussions about this rolling out over a period of time, 5 years. And so I think investors need to pump the brakes here because this may not all come out at once. And it's likely not going to, what I consider to be stimulus, is not going to be that. It's going to be more sort of addressing some of the short-term structural issues in the economy. So not the 2015 style stimulus that I think most people think about when they hear this term.
I'm going to do some really bad, live TV math. Tim, you're the China guy. Correct me if I'm wrong. You said 10 trillion RMB, renminbi, 6.7. So it's about 1.5 trillion US dollars in stimulus. Sounds like we agree on that number. Dewardric, that doesn't sound like a lot of money, to be honest with you, for a nation of 1.3 billion people.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Brian, there are estimates that number could be as low as 4 to 6 trillion RMB. But 10, I think, and even within that 10, there are discussions about how that's broken out, Brian. So there's about 6 or so that will be borrowed from the central government to help with local government debt. About another 4 or so that local governments will use to buy up some of the excess property, some of the land that developers have that they can't do anything with. So it's not going to be targeted in one specific area. So it could disappoint investors even more when you start to unravel the very specifics of this package. And again, for me, I've been talking about this for a year and a half. You have to do something, in my view, to stimulate consumption, something for households. And I don't think that is coming, Brian. So it may be a disappointment. I do think it's something that's better than nothing, but will this be what everyone is expecting? I'm not so sure, Brian.
Hey, Dewardric, it's Tim. It's always great to have your view. And so when I'm reading your notes, I see you saying that for the first time in your career, the Chinese people understand that these events, these moments have an impact on their lives. And back to your scope, scale, and timing. Seems to me the timing is such that right now that this is a government that really, I care less about the scope and more that the policymakers seem to be scrambling. And then I take it back to the markets, and I think investors have pumped the brakes. I don't think investors are expecting anything. I see Alibaba, which was up near 125. It's down, below 100. I think people saw it was a trade, but our policymakers, I'm not saying they're scrambling, but it seems to me that the frequency of these announcements, with your insights into, they realize this matters to the population, who really, that's all they're trying to do is manage the population. And I would think this could mean something bigger.
Yeah, I think those are all great points, Tim. I've been trying to talk about this more in terms of stabilization versus stimulation, right? This is not the big juice, but the party does realize, the government realizes there's a serious problem here. And you have seen a shift in the way they think about addressing this. But again, that only goes so far. We're not going to see that 2015 that we've been longing for, where they're just going to really overjuice and stimulate the economy. They're trying to do a lot with this package. We'll see what happens on the 8th of November when it's announced. I hope there's something in there for stimulating consumers. This is going to be a slow walk, Tim. I think we're seeing the pace pick up a little bit, but this is still slow compared to the need, I think, and the urgency. My own personal view here.